What's going on, Phantom Force Team Cosmogs fans? I like this Phantom-based connection with our Week 3 APA Academy battle. Your coach of the New York Cosmogs is 1-1, and we, after a nice win over it's whatever coach of the Sacramento Needle Kings. This week we are up against Obo, coach of the Houston Laxes, and his team is threatening. His team is annoying, and luckily we have answers. So please go check him out if you haven't already. He's a good dude. A really friendly guy, and I've really enjoyed being in leagues with him so far. Looking at this team, you see he's got the Sand Core as well, with Giga Drill, and then he's got Milotic, Infernape, Crobat, Mega Gardevoir, a few threats he left on the bench. Can't even remember what they are. It's because, like, yeah, there were things I expected him to bring that he didn't, but I'm glad that he didn't, because that made my life easier. Anyway, so we're going to go over our team really quick. First off, we've got a fully physically defensive Hippo. This is one of my two checks to Infernape. A physical Infernape cannot break this set, ever. He would have to click Taunt first, which means that he wouldn't be fully physically offensive. And, yeah. I mean, standard EQ Rocks Roar / Whirlwind and Slack Off set just so we can have good longevity. This thing is our rocker. This thing will do us good work. Yeah, there's not much to say about Hippo. Next we have a Banded Terrakion. An Adamant Banded Terrakion. That's creeping, Gardevoir creeping our Roserade. And this particular set is meant to just punch a hole through everything. Combined with a Spit F boost from Sand that he will inevitably be bringing with that Gigalith. This thing 2-hit KOs Fizz F Milotic every day. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no way. Like, Bandit Terrac is just so much work versus this thing, versus this team. One shot's Infernape. We live a Mach Punch without the drop. And we can take on Crobat rather well. We can one-shot Gardevoir with a Stone Edge or a Poison Jab. We're running Edgequake, Close Combat Poison Jab. I think we're running Edgequake. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're running Edgequake, Close Combat Poison Jab. Next we have a Scarf Modest Roserade. Enough speed to creep both. Yeah, enough speed to creep. I can't remember what it is on this team, but anyway, we're creeping Crobat essentially because there's no way he's bringing Scarf Crobat. We've got Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Leaf Storm, and a nice little secret tech hidden power for Psychic, because I wanted to be able to one-shot Infernape after Sand Chip or after Rocks, and be able to one-shot Crobat. Because if he's not Bulky Bat, he's dying to HP Psychic. Next we have a very bulky Celesteela, a Scummy set, if I may be so bold. It's a mixed defensive set, meant to be able to set up a sub on both Milotic and Excadrill. Because if he's not Life Orb Excadrill, or Swordsy has Excadrill, Rock Slide cannot break our sub, and Scald does not break our sub from a non-invested Milotic. So we're running Sub, Protect, Leech Seed, and Heavy Slam, because his team doesn't switch into Heavy Slam at all besides Milotic, and we have ways to capitalize on Milotic. Next we have one of our win conditions, which Selly's a defensive win condition. Rose is a good offensive one. Another one of our win conditions, or at least Breaker, is our sub bulk up Talonflame with it's a very Spit F heavy Talonflame with mono Brave Bird, but we've got Supersonic Sky Strike. Sub bulk up Roost and Brave Bird with Sky Strike, because without a boost, this thing has the chance is a 90 to 106 roll to one shot Mega Gardevoir with an offensive Mega Gardevoir. And then after that, after we get rid of the Sand Core, this thing just does work. It's supposed to be Gale Wings, but it was misgened, and we brought Flame Body, but it doesn't come into play, thankfully, because we were going to use it to try to check Runaway Crobat. That could potentially be Nasty Plot or Bandit, but Bandit Bat was walled by freaking Celesteela anyway, so I wasn't worried about that. Last mon is our Spidef, very Spidef, Altaria, which is our secondary check to Infernape, because if he's Special Infernape, he can't touch us. He has to be running Gunk Shot, and if he's running Gunk Shot, that means he's physical. We're switching back over to Hippo. Hippo walls it. I fully expect a special hit Infernape, which means this thing does work. Altaria is running our standard mono hyper voice set with Roost, Heal Bell, Defog again because of the fact that I'm kind of I don't want rocks on my side of the field. Not with Talonflame having Gale Wings this week, or supposed to have Gale Wings this week. So, essentially, the premise behind this team is to get rid of Crobat and essentially get rid of Crobat and let Roserade go to town. Because really, I don't see him bringing Scarf Ape. You're bringing Scarf Ape, he's walled by both of my things to check it, as well as potentially depends what he locks himself into, but set up fodder for Talonflame. So that's really nice. And really, he can't lock into his dual stabs with Talonflame standing there, and if he locks into something other than his dual stabs, Terrakion can come in and break something. So there's that. The only potential problems I see: drill out speeds Rose in the sand, and Altaria could potentially become a lot. Now, luckily, Excadrill and Gigalith cannot touch Celesteela. I had it in the back of my mind that because he brought Gigalith, he may be bringing a gravity set to try and to set that up on Selly so Drill can actually break it. But even with that, I could just stall out those turns. That's why I had Sub and Protect, because he would have to have Earthquake of his own, or even Superpower to break through my Selly with his Gigalith. Otherwise, he has to rely on setting up the gravity and getting out to Drill. And by then, I just sub up, click Protect, and click Leech Seed, and then gravity's over, and then you can't do anything to me, and it's sub up again. Because then I just spam Heavy Slam till everything dies. So, if he has a gravity set, I don't want it. That's why I built the Silly set the way it is, so it wouldn't become problematic. If he has Smackdown or anything, which I don't, if he's like Smackdown Gigalith, also not a problem, because then we can assess that he's Smackdown, and that Silly will be good for scouting that early game before we decide whether or not we're going to go with making Gigalith our switch into Selly. Because if he does, or Selly or switch into Gigalith, because if he shows he's got Smackdown, I will 100% switch into Hippo on it every time, just to make sure that I don't take that damage, you know. So turn one, we're going to lead Hippo, because I expect him to lead with either Gigalith or Infernape, and I wanted to kind of just gauge what kind of thing he was going to do, or what kind of damage he was going to do. So I expected Gigalith as a Rocks lead, and I didn't really want to lead anything else, so I thought Hippo would be my best lead, because I can get Rocks up early, it'd be a nice time. But as soon as I saw that he led, I see, of course, we lead Sophie, our Hippo. And also because Hippo would outspeed Gigalith, and if he's Smooth Rock, we actually prevent him from getting 8 turns of sand, which is great. So, and as it turns out, he does lead this, so I actually click Earthquake turn 1 to scout damage, to see what kind of Hippo he is. If he's a Spadef Gigalith, he actually is 2-hit KO by Earthquake. And it turns out he's got a little bit of defense, because the min roll is 52% otherwise. So he does take that hit. It tells me that he is not only got a little bit of Fizdef, he's also got some, he's also potentially Super Berry, the way that he's staying in on that. Because, anyway, so we're going to switch in Selly hard on his Crobat. So I'm like, okay, here I want to scout and see what kind of Crobat set this is. Because if he's Bulky Bat, he'll show Black Sludge right here, but he doesn't. So I'm like, okay, he may be offensive. So he clicks Nasty Plot here. And I'm like, Nasty Bat. I kind of anticipated this because this is only really good way to break Selly surprise factor-wise with this Crobat. So he's probably Fire MZ is my guess. The other option is just like a Z move on his Infernape. And this thing's just kind of expert belt. So we're just going to get some chip off on this thing, because Sand plus Leech Seed is really good to beat this thing down. Especially because he's not Black Sludge. So here we're going to click Protect to scout for the Z move, because +2 Heat Wave after, +2 Z Heat Wave after Protect is like max 33%. But he clicks Heat Wave. So, okay. We're just going to go hard Altaria here, because I want to scout the damage. If he predicts me, so be it. But I'm going to go hard on Altaria to scout the damage from this Heat Wave. So you can see how much he's doing at +2. It's a good thing we're Spadef Altaria, because as you'll see, before Mega Evolution, this Heat Wave absolutely bounces. I'm like, okay, this is a bulky nasty bat. Because if you'll see, not only do we take very little from a +2 heat wave, we heal a lot of HP back. So that kind of tells me he's got a lot of HP investment. So we're going to Mega Evolve here, because this is my most expendable mon. I don't have a switch into this thing, so I need to at least attempt to get these rocks away before. And he looks like he overpredicts here, because I think he was expecting him to go for Sludge Bomb and go back into Selly. But I can't risk Selly. Selly is my win condition, because once I see Excadrill there, it's my only check to Excadrill, essentially. So I got rid of rocks for free here. Now here I'm expecting him to kill me. Like, I'm 100% expecting him to just kill me off, because Altaria could be a nuisance if he lets it stay around any longer. So he goes for Heat Wave again, though, and I'm like, okay. I just clicked Roost here on the off chance he did overpredict, and he did, so we benefit from that greatly, because now we're out of range of a +2 Sludge Bomb. Especially from this set, because he was rather bulky. And thanks to this Leech Seed, we're really easily wearing him down. He's not switching out either, so it's kind of like, I don't know what he's doing. So he clicks Heat Wave again, I guess expecting me to eventually try to bait him into predicting, I don't know. So I just click Hyper Voice and kill this thing, which it seems like questionable place, but the reason that I stayed in is because I didn't have a switch, and I wasn't going to risk my win condition versus this thing. There's no way I can't let Selly take that hit. Not when I needed to check Gardevoir, not when I needed to check Selly, or Drill, not when I needed to check Gigalith. So here he's going to go into Gardevoir. I'm just going to sack this, because, once again, not going to risk him going for Thunderbolt, predicting me to go. But he just does kill me, which is okay. So we're going to go... So here we're going to go... I believe you go hard out in Talonflame. Yeah, I go hard out in Talonflame, because I can potentially... I wanted to scout, see... Scout is set, so I click sub first, see what he's got. See if he's got Thunderbolt. See if he's got Hyper Voice, that bounces, we can roost on it. But he goes for Thunderbolt, so I'm like, okay, this thing's got the coverage, which means that we've got to essentially sack Talonflame to get the damage I need to kill this thing with anything else. Now here I just click Supersonic Sky Strike, because it is a roll, 50-50 roll in my favor, unless he had some bulk investment. But even still, the roll, even with the bulk that I expect, the roll was like 88 to 103 or something like that. So it was a roll. But without any bulk, it's a literally 50-50 roll, 90 to 106. So, let me go for Sky Strike here, and you're going to see Talon's going to come out crashing down, and we bring it right to the 10% mark, which tells me that this thing, either we missed the roll, or he had some bulk, which is fine. I didn't expect to kill it. It just gets me into Rose Raid. Proves that I'm Scarf, though, because there's no reason not to. He goes for Protect, so I'm like, oh, okay. So this boy's not Calm Mind, this boy's not Sub, this boy is Protect. I'm like, okay, he's scouting for Scarfers, which is fine. We're still going to click Giga Drain, because there's no reason not to. Want to make sure that we could knock this thing out and prevent Gigalith or Excadrill from coming in. So here, Ape comes in, and I'm like, okay, it's obvious if it switches it is, I'm going into Hippo, because I don't need it anymore. Rocks aren't going to benefit me the rest of this game. Milotic doesn't care about the chip. Infernape is just going to be here to break anyway. I need the Sandstorm chip on this thing so that after Sandstorm, HP Psychic will kill this thing. He does go for the Bloom Doom, which I kind of expected. I was like, it didn't matter what move he went for, because if he was Z move, Hippo was dropping. Unless he was like Z Flare Blitz, I could have lived that. But any Z special move, particularly obviously Z Bloom Doom, or Bloom Doom is just going to drop, because yeah, there was no world in which Hippo lived this. Poor little Hippo. Sorry, Sophie. But you've done your job. You got the exact chip I needed, because all I needed was for this thing to take 4%, and Rose Raid was guaranteed going to kill it. It took the chip I needed. HP Psychic is 100% going to kill. And I guess he calculated here that I was going to be timid, and there was no world in which I killed him. But after that chip, even a max HP Infernape was dying to HP Psychic. There was no way. So, because I'm modest and technician, so there's no way the thing wasn't dying. Now he goes into his Milotic, and I did that in such a way because I thought he wanted to force him to think that I was HP Ground. So I switch out hard, go into my Terrakion. This seems questionable, only because if he didn't go for Scald, I had a free switch in, and I did a lot of damage. Also, I took less than half because of the Sandstorm. Luckily, we did not get burned, and this close combat is going to show we could actually 2-hit KO this Milotic with our Bandit close combat. You're gonna see this is ridiculous. Look at this. My goodness gracious. There's no way he was gonna recover there. He's gonna scald to try to kill me, which is good because that means I get into Rose Raid for free again and killed something else. Because he either goes into Rose, or either he goes into Drill or Gigalith, takes this hit, and especially in this range, this thing is dead. So we go back into Rose, and he has to sack it. He has to sack something off because Rose is going to take a kill every time it comes in. Because that's just how I built this Rose Raid. Modest Scarf Rose just does damage. So here is I kill off the Milotic, and here I expect him 100% to go into Gigalith because the Sandstorm's gone. He needs to back up. Instead, he goes to Excadrill. Now, here is where a mind game was attempted to be played, and here's where I'm going to explain my thought process here. Here it is, Selly and Rose Raid versus Excadrill and Gigalith. If he stays in, I get damage I need to guarantee that Excadrill cannot come in on me on my Celesteela. Yes, he kills me with an Earthquake. So yes, he kills me with an Earthquake. I don't mind that. What I mind is if, okay, and by the way, he could potentially have not killed me. There was a roll. Unless he was like Adamant Soft Sand or something like that. But anyway, there was no world in which this chip did not matter. So either I get chip on this thing and guaranteed get in a range of 2 heavy slams so he can't switch in on my Selly, or he goes into his Gigalith to set the sand back up and bait me to go into my Celesteela, and I actually kill it from the range it's at because he is max HP and it looks like a mixed defensive set. So if he wasn't max Spidef and Assault Vest, he wasn't dead, and that's the only way. And because he's shown that he clicked Rocks turn 1, he's dead. Because once again, I'm a modest Rose Raid. So in no world was my play to switch, because either I get the damage I need on this thing, and Selly can win from there, even if I have to sack Rose, or I kill off the Gigalith, and Selly wins from there because Drill can't touch me, because Drill doesn't get smacked down. His play in this particular instance to win this part of the game is to bank on my choke for me to go into Selly, and he has to go back into his Gigalith and click Smackdown / Gravity, because that's his only way he's going. Now, granted, Gravity's a better option because Smackdown, it would imply that he would have to hit me first, and if I sub up on him, Smackdown doesn't break my sub. And Selly wins the game from that point, because Heavy Slam's going to kill Gigalith from that point. And honestly, I would have clicked Leech first, then Heavy Slam to guarantee that I didn't pop a Super Berry. So, there's that. Which means that Gravity was his more likely option if he had it. And judging by the way he plays this, that's the only way that he's going to win, is if he has a Gravity Gigalith. And he does double out into his Gigalith, expecting me to go into my Celesteela, which to most people makes sense. To me, it makes sense, but that's why I made the play that I did, because I could not afford to allow that thing to get a free switch in, and I could not allow for Excadrill to potentially grab both kills here at the end. I couldn't let it happen. So here, this is where I get proof whether or not Drill was Sand Rush or not, because if he's Scarf and he's Adamant, I outspeed him. But he's either Scarf Jolly here, or he's Sand Rush. So either way, we're about to find out. I go into Selly, and because Selly versus Excadrill, if he's Sand Force and Scarf, then he can't break my sub. He can't touch me. But he proves to be Sand Rush, which means that he is not Sand Force, which means he can't break my sub. So either way, Selly wins this game. So I seed him because he can't, because he either has to spin or he has to. I think he's in a more offensive set with like EQ, Rock. Maybe he has Rocks, I don't know. His EQ, Rock Slide, Iron Head, and fourth move, I don't know. Probably Poison Jab. I don't know why he would have Poison Jab, actually. But no, it clicks up here because now we can't break our sub. And what I'm going to do here is, after this particular hit, after this hit of Leech Seed, he is in range of 2 Heavy Slams plus more Leech Seed. So what I just click the sub so we can break it. So now it's got a Rock Slide. and we take the hit, and then and as you see, his sub doesn't break, so we're just gonna click heavy slam. And actually, we calc the damage. That was only 19% that he did with his rock slide, so he's definitely jolly. Which, yeah. So now we've essentially won the game because heavy slam plus leech seed is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, so to speak. After this next heavy slam, the leech seed will take him out. So he could actually, I mean, if he clicks rock slide and he misses, which is really sad, but like it doesn't change the game. He breaks my sub. I click heavy slam, and as you can see, he's in range of the leech. So even if you broke my sub, it didn't matter. Selly came out on top every time. And funny enough, Selly ends out this game at full HP. Just fun food for thought. But yeah, so we make a nice 1-0 win versus Owen. I could have had a 2-0, but I didn't want to risk it because I wanted to make sure that if he was scarfed, Selly got a free switch. And if he wasn't scarfed, I wasn't about to sit there and let Selly take unnecessary damage if you're predicting me to switch. So all that to say, that's our week 3 match versus Owen. Really good game, bud. Nice and tight. Is had me on the ropes for a while, and yeah, you have a really good shot at making playoffs. I think with the team you've got, especially with the next team you've drafted. Spoilers. I'm not gonna say what, but yeah, our next week we battle Diet Tight, coach of the New Britain Rockoffs. He is undefeated at the moment. I hope to end that streak. I'm gonna try to come out of this first 4 weeks 3-1. So hopefully thank you guys for supporting the Cosmogs this whole way, and keep rooting for us as we make our push to playoffs. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next week. Bye, guys.